Welcome to San Diego, California for the 2018 USA Ultimate Club Championships, which is sponsored, where we are having Pittsburgh Temper versus Boston DiG in this first game of pool play. The 2018 USAU Ultimate National Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. Visit VC on the web at vcultimate.com. And first pull is just nearly underway. Emmy Fitzgerald here with Tony Leonardo. And Tony, we have a really interesting storylines between these two teams.
Yeah.
Some team members have played with each other before and against each other quite a bit.
Well, famously, Thomas Edmonds, of course, one of the founders of DiG, is playing for Pittsburgh, where he played college ball. So that does make sense, but kind of weird to play against the team that you started. And also Goldstein, and we got another one out there. So they're going to know each other. We know that. But that being said, these teams haven't matched up that often, so it still will be new.
So there's the first pull. We have Boston DiG in black, Pittsburgh Temper in white.
A little bit of wind, I guess. That disc certainly sailed on the pull.
We started the day with about 3 miles an hour. That has definitely increased. We'll work to get an updated figure. As Boston looks for that first throw right away. Very tight person defense from Temper. And a pick called.
Dylan Best, the other player for Pittsburgh here that spent time with DiG's roster last season.
Marquette, the disc for DiG, underneath to Hecht. Johnson, the one-handed grab. Johnson on Slow White last season, who was on the field right before this, and a turnover from Boston.
Yeah, so Duke couldn't come up with that disc there. Unfortunate mistake, just kind of drops you early on. And a chance for Pittsburgh with the disc.
And there's the huck right off the bat. One-handed grab, just shy of the end zone. DiGirolamo has the push pass to get a break on the board for Temper to start the game.
Well, great defense from Pittsburgh Temper there. Forced, right off the bat, I mean, and you called it, it had a lot of trouble, Marquette, with the disc to start at the brick mark after a very poor pull. And they can only move it 20 yards up the field before a tight shot into Saduk, and he can't come up with it. So great start for Pittsburgh here in what is predicted to be a very challenging pool. A lot of people have said this is the most difficult pool in men's, and this is the first game of the weekend here for both teams and for this pool. Let's see where it goes.
And of course, this pool also including Double Wide from Austin and Sockeye from Seattle.
And we might be able to catch them from a distance here because they should be playing at the same time here. The assistant coach for DiG here for Boston, Chris Shake, told me that we want to win this pool and we want to win every game. And the reason is we don't want to cross over to face Revolver if we bounce into the 2-3 into quarters. So I don't know if that's looking too far ahead, because it definitely is, because we're only on .1. But this is a win every game sort of pool, is the way Boston looks at it.
So another floaty pull. That one lands inbounds. Boston back on offense, disc over to Johnson. Moves upfield. Halkyard. See, lots of backhands. Sadok, the disc, back to Johnson. Johnson shoots for the end zone, and the sliding catch is good. That was Nicholas Thompson.
You know, Tanner Johnson is a beast, and he looks more beastly with that sun hoodie on, right? He looks a little menacing, and he makes it look easy skying coming from behind it. Offensive Player of the Year in mixed last year for Slow-White, like you said, and we saw him at Northeast Regionals kind of tear it up there. You know, he's a guy. He's a player that we've seen through the years at Amherst in high school and throughout, just always be there as an elite level guy that can get up in the air and make the right play. Being
so young as well, and sometimes people criticize commentators, oh, you just focus on like a couple players, but I'm just going to say it now. We're going to be talking about Tanner Johnson a lot, but it's because he does a lot on the field. There are other players that do a lot too. We hope to talk about them, but he's a big contributor.
Look, you want to watch him. When he's cutting, you want to watch him cut because he makes plays happen. So why not talk about it? Ben Saduk we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Josh Marquette. We're going to talk about Mac Hecht out here on the offense. We're going to talk about Tyler Gilarome. These are the guys that when they have the disc or don't have the disc, stuff is happening.
So we're tied at ones. Temper is up one break. Centering the pull. Earls. And that's a shot. 1-on-1, really 2-on-1, intercepted.
And that's a great thing to have on your D-line is a player like Mac Hecht. And you can see why, and he's also an offensive threat.
So answering with a floaty flick huck that really wasn't going to get to the receiver.
So that was Jay Clark on the D, not Mac Hecht. I apologize.
So Pittsburgh back with the disc. Fedorenko over to Wish. Now moving towards the far sideline, getting close to the red zone is Temper. You can see a little bit of a poach in that lane to prevent some strikes moving through.
Well, Coach Shake told me that nice foot block there. Yeah, that counts.
You can just feel the intensity of this point as Boston has another shot for a score. And there is the pass. That is a goal. And Chris Bartoli will catch it for DiG to take it 2-1.
So Rusty Ingold-Smith there with the foot block. One of the D captains, also one of the players that came over from Ironside last year. Ironside famously won it 2 years ago. Veteran experience there in Rusty. He told me before the game that one of the things they like to do is the inside look. So he's like, we're going to try to take away that inside look. He comes out here and gets a foot block on an inside look. So smart there from DiG, and then a great play from Hatchett to rip it deep to Bartoli for the goal.
So much grit from that DiG line to get the score back. So we're back on serve.
It's a scary D-line. Like, Jack Hatchett is one of the best defenders in the country. Rusty is an extraordinarily veteran defender. Jay Clark is back again, another Ironside player along with Hatchett that's got wheels. These are high-level elite defenders. You don't see the height necessarily there, but the speed and the experience is there.
So 2-1 early in this first half. Second round of pool play. The top three in the pool advance for a shot at the championship.
Ryan Dinger, another one from Ironside, one of the young players. Started with Ironside at the age of 19. He might be 20, 21 by now.
So much experience, so young. Temper moving it within DiG's scoring end zone. Now they manage to gain yards, get that out of there. And floating, and there was a little bit of pressure coming. So the disc will go back to Boston.
Couple of pressure points there from Freka with the disc now, and then from Zepka, and they get the turn.
Sliding catch, and very demonstratively throws off his hat as well. And a pick called. He was pretty open. He was suspiciously very open.
He's still very open. And he's got the disc, and he's going to keep it as the player gets a little closer.
So Willie Stewart will check it back in. Let's head over to Grauman. Continues.
Pick call.
Another pick called.
You know what Brian Jones told me at Northeast Regionals about DiG's movement? He says they're a very weird team. They will take as many passes as possible to score, as they need to score. Like, it's hard to pinpoint their offense. He said they'll just do whatever it takes to move it into the end zone.
Count's getting high. Disc is to Grauman. There's the continuation. And Dinger right outside the goal line. And you're right, Tony. I mean, this is as many passes as they need in such a tight space. And they will find the opening. That is a score. Ryan Dinger gets the goal.
Yeah, they almost seem to like it, right? Like, just like, hey, man, let's keep it within 5 yards, you know? Sure, why not? Sure, there's traffic. There's people around. That's okay. No problem, you know? Let's just get it into the end zone, because that's what we're here to do. And Dinger, after the left-hand release there from Spencer Diamond.
So now DiG goes up by 2, having given up a break to start the game.
Yeah, it's 4 points have scored. 3 of them have been breaks. So teams are still finding the rhythm, I guess you could say, early to start here. There's been 1 hold, and that's where we're at.
And this is a pretty exciting year for Nationals. The first time it's been in San Diego since 1999.
That's right.
The 40th anniversary of the club championships and the 50th anniversary of our sport.
Who knows where it can go from here. I was here at the 99 National Championships, which was a very fun, exciting tournament. It was the 6th in a row on the men's side for Death or Glory. And a big surprise win. That was Fury's first national championship win. So 2 veteran teams dialing it back that far.
So amazing to see all the history being made as Temper is on offense. Disc being forced towards this near sideline. And they're working it right up the near sideline, right on the goal line.
Love the quick movement from Pittsburgh. Gummed up a little bit. Might be a double team call as Jay Clark there sort of hanging out a little off his man too much. And the disc will get checked back in with a little clear lane for Marcus Ryan drop trap.
So looking for that next pass. So much patience. Moving it to the far side of the field. That's the shot. And it's a goal for Temper.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, right? Reverse field, get it over to the other side, and look for an opening, and there it was after getting jammed up on the front side. You see in the striped shirt there, sorry, the pattern shirt was Coach Andrew Willig. We'll talk about him in a minute. And there's the goal shot. You know, it's kind of easy once you get it over to the other side, you know, if the timing's right there. So can't fault the defense too much there from DiG. They jammed him up enough on the one side to force it to get it around and over, and that's what a good offense will do. I believe this is Temper's second time at Nationals. And not an easy road for them. Had to come down from I believe 3 goals, 3 breaks.
I think so.
Yeah, in regionals against a very difficult and challenging Philadelphia Patrol team that has knocked them Pittsburgh out in the past. So, you know, just a great year for Temper. Started off really awesome for them with the PEC, with a win over Sockeye and a top billing. And then they told me they had a little bit of difficulty playing as the #1 seed at the next TCT tournament. So they have a surprise win at the PEC, at the Pro Elite Challenge. And now they're favorites, and a role they felt a little uncomfortable with. So here they are, back in the underdog role. Let's see what they can do with it.
And now Tanner Johnson with the disc. DiG now at midfield. We'll reset it. Backer. And that high release flick going right under it. That's a goal. Mac Hecht for Boston.
Buttery throw from Tanner Johnson there. A little, it looked like there was going to be a defender just going to eat that up. And instead somewhat floats over, and Mac Hecht is there. There's number 6 for Pittsburgh, and just not enough as Repperman can't get to it. Mac Hecht from Brown University hit the score.
So DiG up 4-2 in this first half of play.
Max Hecht brings it in for the DiG score. That's Boston 4.
In the mixed division, there are 5 new teams to Nationals, which is so crazy, whereas in the others you see a little bit more familiarity there.
I feel in mixed, it's such a fun division to, first of all, mixed, the parity in mixed this year is off the charts. Again, coming from a perspective of Northeast Regionals, there was like 7 Nationals teams there.
Right.
You know, only 3 of them got to go. A team that was in the semis at Worlds is not at this tournament because they got stuck in the Northeast. We've seen that out of the Northwest. The South Central was gnarly. I don't know what's going on, but mixed, the talent is there amongst the teams. And so you just never know who's going to make it here to the big show.
And a dropped pull off the hands.
Temper turnover.
So turnover, Grauman will pick up.
Wow.
Patrick Earls, I believe.
Big mistake from Temper. Opportunity for DiG to capitalize, and they do.
They do right away. But that is more of a mental hurdle to overcome than something skill related.
Well, but which is worse? You know, what do you want to have on your team? Do you want to have the skills, or do you want to have the mental composure?
I think overcoming, because that's going to happen, whether it's a drop pull or it's a decision that's incorrect, those will all happen. Nobody's perfect. But the mental fortitude for Temper now to overcome it, that is where the true test is.
Do you say, like, you know, how do you shake it off? You know, how do you rebuild from it?
Exactly.
You know, you can feel the wind. Okay, the wind's a factor. And it's a subtle factor. It's a little bit swirly, but it's starting to pick up. That disc hung up a little bit. Earls maybe saw something he liked and took his eyes off the disc a little bit, and down to the turf. And it's a bit of a hole now. I mean, this is 3-break hole for Temper about to receive facing that wind. Boston DiG is here to win this tournament. This is a young team out of the 7th seed. So this isn't a team that you think is going to have a chance. But oh, they have a chance. It's just you don't play Ultimate at Boston at the highest level and come to Nationals and not think you're going to have a shot at winning it.
So DiG bringing out a little bit of a different defensive look in his zone. Temper working it with the short passes. And shot up the sideline, breaks through it a little bit. There's a continue to the far side. And Temper answers. Matt Hanna gets that goal.
Looked like an Earl shot up the line there. Trademark lefty bomb from Patrick Earls. I've seen that over the many years. Edmonds hauls it in, the founder of this DiG team, and sends it deep. Really nice, pretty put both of those passes there for a wide open goal.
So another Born to Rise play with great field awareness and coupled with execution for Temper's third goal so far of the game.
So now we're going to look at what DiG's going to do on offense, going upwind a little bit. Tyner Johnson, Marquette, Mac Hecht will be out there. Nick Thompson. This is kind of like the lineup that we saw all throughout Northeast Regionals. I see Sidorsky, Misha Sidorsky. And you know, you ask yourself, Emmy, you know, these aren't all household names. You know, like, is this the line that can win nationals? You know, is this the offensive? And it's kind of weird that there's such a young team, players coming out of sort of the smaller colleges around the Northeast. Saw a lot of Vermont players, New Hampshire. Of course, there's the UMass core that we know, but a lot of these smaller, less high-profile college schools able to produce this talent that we see in front of us.
So really angled pull, caught off the bounce as Boston is on offense. The wind has now picked up to 11 miles an hour, the highest it's been so far today.
Marquette here with the disc, another one of the veterans. His 17th straight year of making nationals.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
It's very hard to imagine. Brandon Malachek had 16.
Yeah.
I thought the three of those two and Dominique Fontenette, they might be the record holders if I would have to guess.
Yeah. Dom, hard to touch. What is she at, 21, 22?
Something like that. 17 years, though, consecutive nationals. Such invaluable experience.
And a starting offensive handler for this team, this young DiG team.
So DiG finding a little bit of an opening. That leading flick to the end zone is a score. That was Ben Setlin with the goal.
From Mac Hecht, I love that throw. It's one of my favorite. Do not fall off this platform on me. I would love to catch you, but then we'd both be down. This low release, so he's playing the wind, right? Like if you come down low and you let the wind set it up for your receiver. So just a great release angle, playing the wind, letting the wind hold it up so it's not going to float around too far. Nice release point and throw from Mac Hecht. Temper, we got to talk about not having Michael Ng out there.
Exactly. Broke his foot at regionals.
Yeah.
When I think we all saw in the college championships just what a threat he was.
Yep, two-way player. And here last year in the finals of mixed. Another mixed star. We talked about Tanner Johnson playing for Slow White last year. Michael Ng playing for Philadelphia's AMP. Switches over to play in the men's division this year. And at regionals, and I talked to him about it before this game. I was like, what is it, just one of those small microfractures of your metal tarsal? And he's like, yeah. So he can play, and then he might just be injured for life. So yeah, don't play. But that sucks.
Another interesting note, all of the DiG scores so far have been by different people. So really spreading out the stat sheet as they're currently, though, on defense. Temper working it off of the sideline.
Number 15, Dylan Best, is one of the players that DiG is going to be keyed on.
And just through the fingertips, Best catches it. Continues to Thorne. Thorne puts up that shot. And hopping into the end zone is Matt Hanna for another goal for him.
Yeah, it's Max Thorne for you. He's had this throw. He's had a lot of throws, but it doesn't matter. Look at the same third forehand. An open player, but you know, into the wind, and it's just a dime shot. You know, don't want to give Max Thorne too many opening shots because he'll take them and he will defeat your team.
So, DiG still with a 2-goal lead, but that was some nice offense from Temper and fairly quick too.
Well, once they got that through to Dylan Best over here, then they had a sort of more of an opportunity. You know, this is I feel like with this, and there's Coach Andrew Willie from Carnegie Mellon. I feel like with this Pittsburgh team, and you see this often at Nationals, where it's sort of a core of a collegiate squad that has had great success over the years, and that being Pittsburgh and Sabanur. You want to see how far can those teams go. In the 10 years ago it was a UNCW core, and the answer, unfortunately, tends to be not that far. And you see the diversity with the DiG roster, where it's not a UMass core, where UMass was one of the top elite college teams and still is, where they really spread. It's just not. It's just an eclectic group, and so I kind of wonder how that model will continue to evolve when you're based out of a college core.
And some teams will talk about too having pods of players. So maybe you have a pod from who played together at Pitt, but then you have another pod who played together somewhere else. So you have microchemistry, but then you need kind of more depth than maybe what's necessary from a college roster.
One of the few players not from that Pitt core, of course, is Tad Whistle from Ivy Tech, which is a rare contribution from that school.
Boston in the vertical stack, that reset off of the front. Talking about Whistle, he's on the mark. And through some coverage, Sidorski catches it. Marquette on the far sideline. We're not quite in the red zone yet. Now we are. Scoring position with that next dish. Josh Marquette gets the goal.
Yeah. Marquette doesn't, he's not quite the goal thrower that he used to be. But the presence, you know, he's going to know when you make that streak to the cone from the cutting position and make it look easy. So always a dangerous threat on the field. And again, they just look like they're taking their time, and you know, these are all 10, 15-yard passes. Throw up a big fake, but the offense, it's hard to even tell what they mean. You know, like, is this what's their set offense here? You know, is it, you don't know where the cuts exactly are coming out of, except that they're not too distant apart. You know, they're not big bowling alleys out of a vertical. You know.
And that's really difficult to defend as well, if you're the other team kind of trying to figure out, because it's not as predictable what they're going to do.
Yeah. I don't know. We saw Goat get some on them and Pony get some, you know, get some Ds on them at Northeast Regionals again. But it's a challenge to figure out where you're going to get your blocks, you know.
So 7-4, half is at 8. Temper will get the disc on offense to start the point. Working it underneath, Best. Disc. Get that over to Thorne.
This is a hose stack that looked pretty good to start, but now they're getting trapped.
And there's the huck shot with so much spacing. But Jonah Wish going for the one-handed grab and just can't connect.
I think he saw the line coming up, maybe. You know, I think he got a little scared by the line. I mean, that is a dime ball from Patrick Earls that you got to get, and we all know that Earls is going to put that, and he's got that throw, and Jonah knows that. So missed opportunity for Pittsburgh.
So Boston back with the disc. If they score here, they'll take half.
Babcock there with the disc, the Donovan Award winner last year for the Div 2 Player of the Year.
And so much floating. Thought he might be able to get it on like a 4th or 5th attempt.
Yeah, kind of surprised he didn't call strip after that. It looked like he had it, but it's not. It's a turn. And Pittsburgh with the disc.
So Temper inside of half field, looking for the reset. They'll get it. Working with the handler movement.
Babcock on Wish, knows of Wish's kind of tricky high release points.
And the inside throw is good. That's a score to Earls. So Temper is able to hang on to it, even though they did have that incompletion earlier in the point.
Yeah, Edmonds to Earls, and that's the inside breakthrough touch. Not like I thought. Nope. Yep. Great D there from Fedorenko. 2 Ds.
Right.
You got it for 2 there.
Exactly. So if you're the statistician, do you count them for 2, or do you just give them the 1?
1.5, maybe? Depends on you know who's playing the fantasy points.
Exactly.
There's Mike Yang, you see, on his cart there, holding up his you know, it sounds funny to say broken foot, but you know it's a bone inside your foot. So
there's just so many little bones.
There's a lot of bones there.
There's so many, and that's one that a lot of players do not tend to right away, like Michael's doing.
Yeah.
And then it's a nagging injury for years.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you play on it, you just make make it a lot worse.
It's very painful too. Those little bones, they hurt a lot too.
This game's going by a lot quicker. The last game was a slog. That and your last game too was a long game. So a little quicker here in this round as the pull sits down for DiG.
So DiG will reset right away. Tight defense from Temper.
The threat of Saduk here with the disc, Sadok, right? Like he's got his man open here, Rocco Linehan right there, by 20 yards because he can throw it the length of the field. So Rocco comes in a big under and he's wide open because of the threat. Nice bid there.
And nice bid, just fingertips away. Jasper Tom working really, really hard on Sadok. And Johnson shoots to the end zone, looking for, I think that's Linehan.
Yeah, and that's half for Boston DiG. They kind of lull you into sleep. I mean, again, nothing flashy. I mean, what's the play of the game so far for DiG? Can we even? I can't even think of like something really stood out. But they got 8 points on the board. You know.
Right. Exactly.
So just a lot of excellence all around from this Boston team.
So a lot of composure as Boston DiG takes half 8 to Pittsburgh Temper's 3. So we're going to take a quick break. Temper's 5. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a halftime interview and talk a little bit more to get ready for the second half.
Can you turn up our headphones?
Can you grab someone from DiG?
Oh yeah, he's sending us Jay Clark.
Jay Clark, are you coming over?
They got it, DiG. You want to talk to him? You doing it?
Yes.
Yeah. And Jay, if you're really good at this, I think you should just stay for the second half. And, you know, throw some words up there.
So dicey.
You got injured. Can you imagine? What a frisbee world would it be? You get injured climbing up and then you can't play.
Oh, with a groin injury? From what?
Let's go, Jay!
Let's start with the read. We're going to start, and I'm going to yeah, let me just talk to Jay for the first. So, we'll talk about the team you had, your staff at Pittsburgh went down a break early, but how were you guys able to keep that
Focus, you know, to obviously have a lead. The 2018 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. Visit VC on the web at vcultimate.com. And I'm Emmy Fitzgerald here, joined with Jason Clark from DiG. Thanks for joining us, Jason.
Hey, thanks for having me up here.
So you had a pretty cool block in the first half. What was kind of going through your mind when you got that?
Thanks. Yeah, this tournament's pretty big for me. So, got married and went on my honeymoon this season, and missed a bunch of the regular season. Came back for pro flight finale and got hurt on the first point of the second game. So that was my second game of the season with DiG. But I've been rehabbing the ankle pretty aggressively, and it's finally in a good place. So really eager to get on the field and contribute to the team that I've been working hard with all season. With a team like Temper, who's young, you're kind of looking for this tunnel vision mentality, and in that specific case, it was my old teammate Thomas Edmonds throwing it deep, and I know he loves to do it. So
if you know him well, you know how to defend him too.
Yep, snuck in off the backside and was able to run it down.
Awesome. So you guys went down a break to start the game, but now you're up by 3 at halftime. What kind of mental focus did you guys have to say? Did you say to each other to really keep with it?
Yeah, so it's always really tough to have the first round bye. Luckily, Temper also had the bye, so we both are coming in trying to ramp up our energy. Temper very clearly game planned for this game. They called their initial pull play right away and shut it down, and we had to reset the disc backwards. And they have different calls for every single person on our O-line to adjust. So the offense has been gritty and slow and choppy, but they're just throwing to open people. We just had one unfortunate drop on an upline to Lundy. And other than that, we're just playing our game. And really the mental focus is, like, this team has always been, 27 people deep. They focus a lot on individuality. So we just come out here, execute our game plan. The breaks will come, the holds will come. So that's kind of where we are right now.
So now kind of looking into the second half, you're up by 3, but as we know, no lead is ever safe.
No lead is safe.
So what are you trying to do to kind of put it away for that?
Yeah, so starting the game on offense gives us the advantage of, coming out on defense to start the second half. I think 1 break, maybe 2 breaks out of half will be enough to send a message and to get this team to start mentally preparing for their next game. I think that's the easy way out. I anticipate it's going to be harder than that. It's going to be a lot of deep contributions from our defense. We have a lot of minds over there thinking right now about how to change up our defensive looks, make sure that they're uncomfortable. They have a lot of athletes on the field. And offensively, it's just, again, throwing to open people, trying not to freak out. They have a lot of really good looks for us. So staying cool, calm, and collect, I think.
Great. Well, good luck in the second half.
Yeah,
and thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much. This was delightful.
Great. We'll have the second half when we return right after this.
You did great. That was so good. You've had so much adversity. Yeah. But you're here. That's awesome. Not the honeymoon part, but just like
Jake was telling me the roll bar really helped you out with your
Got 2 minutes.
We'll shot him up for it. I'll give you a shot.
Thanks so much, guys.
nice. Good luck. Okay. Okay. I'm an athlete. You're an athlete.
My hat up there?
On metal.
It is.
Yeah.
Welcome back to San Diego. We're at halftime in pool play here at the USA Ultimate Club Championships. Emmy Fitzgerald here with Tony Leonardo. And Tony, it was a quick first half, but so smooth from Boston DiG.
You know, they have a lot of we heard Jade talk on at halftime about they go 27 deep and they use all their guys, and it pays off. A lot of comfortableness. You know, you don't see a lot of jitters out of this. You talked about the drop from Lundy. That's the nickname for Ben Sadak. And that was really the only mistake we've really seen from this Boston team. The question for me now is what is Pittsburgh going to do in the second half here? Obviously down by 3. And like Boston mentioned at the start of this game, this is a pool you need to win. You want to win this pool if you're going to advance far. And Pittsburgh in a 3-goal hole here to receive. So they got to have a hole.
So the pull is up to start the second half. Temper is on offense and another bobble, but maintained. Moving it the near sideline. Best underneath and bobbles off the hands of Thorne.
Opportunity here, Jake Clark there we just talked to with the disc. We'll send it deep.
That is floating and batted away. Not that I don't think the receiver would have been able to get it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, looked like, not sure what Jay was seeing there, but an easy D for Max Thorne, and he will pick it up and walk it up.
So Temper really needing this possession now that they've earned it back. And straight shot up the sideline, curves in enough for the sliding catch from Earls. Just outside the end zone, that continuation's good. Matt Hanna, another score for Hanna.
Well, it comes off as a hold for Pittsburgh, but it wasn't easy. And a nice throw up there from Edmonds to Earls. Earls getting downfield. He's a rangy guy. It's good to see him being a two-way player. You know, for years, Earls really being the guy in the backfield that could bomb it deep. And you know, as you progress into the higher levels of this game, you got to be two-way player. So you got to be able to stretch it deep, and good to see Earls doing that.
So Temper brings it within 2 here in this second half of play.
There's Coach Andrew Willig with the Nassau shirt. I don't know if he earned the nickname from the shirt or if he got the shirt from the nickname.
Oh.
But you know where he told me he spent some time as the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California, out this direction actually, kind of Los Angeles. If you know anything about the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, one of the world's foremost sites for some high-level engineering.
On the pull for Temper.
We'll just call him Lundy.
Oh, there's the pull. Boston finding some space towards the near sideline right away.
Yeah, nice side stack there.
Johnson launches that flick and in full speed manages to get that score to Sadok.
Ben Sadok, that's another example. Same thing with Patrick Earls. You got a big bomber down as a backfield. You got to get that person into the end zone. And here's Tanner Johnson bombing it to his buddy Ben Sadok.
Just doesn't waste any time.
Good chemistry there. These guys were at UMass together. I think Tanner Johnson's coming back for a 5th year at UMass. That's what I've heard.
Oh.
From Tina Booth a couple weeks ago, I want to say. So we're looking at one of the elite collegiate players right there in Tanner Johnson with that throw.
And we saw him so much on that Zoodisc team throughout the college season as well, just being such an impact. What do you think that does for the rest of the college team when you have elite college players who are then able to hang around for more eligibility? Maybe they're just young and picked it up quickly.
It does a lot. It really brings up the whole program. You just have someone that's been there and done that. And for college teams, every club team is going to have those people. It's rare not to have people that have been around. But in college, not the case, right? Because you're done in 4, you're done in 5. And so when you get a graduate player come to your school, or you get a 5th-year guy or girl, it's sort of invaluable, really. I mean, your coach can only tell you so much. It's the guy in the field next to you that knows and can really convey it to you.
So that pull lands in, will roll out the back. So Wish will walk it up to the front of the end zone.
Great example in Jonah Wish. I believe last year he came for his 5th year at Pittsburgh, and his experience is what you saw getting that team to the finals this year, in college nationals. Jonah Wish is making a huge difference with that experience.
And a nice floating shot, one-on-one. There's the D.
Yeah, Edmonds put a big rip on it, but a better defensive play from DiG. And there's a call here. Looks like Dagley with the D. Love seeing what the D line's offense is going to do, Emmy, and who the main people. I know Braz, number 64, is always a factor out there. Frederick, and again, that's a veteran player. Last time we saw Dinger make some plays, number 23. Willie Stewart with the disc now, a UNC player, UCW, sorry.
We talked about the depth. I mean, still, having scored 9 points, there's still no repeat scorers for DiG.
Really?
Even while Johnson leads with 4 assists.
Okay. Wow.
But Temper back on offense. And they see an kind of open Thorn, but the execution just not quite right.
He was trying to paint the front corner from Max there, and you know, just a challenging throw, really. You know, it's tough that how much float do you want to put on that disc, because you only want your guy to get it, and not enough float.
Back to pick up. He'll put it in play from the goal line.
So, Boston back on offense. Sliding catch on the far sideline. Big backhand. 2 players underneath. And no good. Disc goes back to Pittsburgh. Best to Thorn.
Yeah, nice D from Dylan Best there. Dinger had a chance there, and I think Best got to it first.
And can't find a close shot, so
yeah,
it's kind of more of a punt.
Wow, great defense from. We got a call, however. I think that's going to come back. Stall call. It looks like it's a stall, whether it's contested or not. I'm not sure. Now maybe. Yep, we're going to talk about it. Great defense though. DiG really clamped down, and Max Thorn had nothing.
So some discussion on the play.
So this is basically a 40-yard discussion of whether the disc is going to come in. He said no call, so it's going to go down to where the disc went out of bounds on the throw.
There was a turnover, however. The disc is going over to DiG.
This DiG team was a quarterfinalist last year. And then ended up kind of losing the 5-6 game against Ironside, I believe. And then Ironside,
I think you're right.
Yeah, didn't survive that. Disappointing season. 5th wasn't good enough.
Nice laser to Grumman.
I think we got a timeout, maybe. Yeah. And talk to some players, you know, the past couple of years, Emmy, with this DiG team, and they just love the fun that they have together, the chemistry of this team that these young guys put together. You know, even facing the veteran Boston experience from Ironside in the past couple of years, they didn't care. You know, they wanted to just go out and have fun. That being said, they have a coach here, and I don't know what this discussion is about. It's kind of silly, really. Tom Matthews. One of their coaches for DiG, who was here in '99 that won the national championship.
Wow.
So they have that. They have the depth to go back there in their coach, and yet the whole team is a bunch of young guys.
That's so interesting. So a timeout was called.
After all that, it was just a timeout.
Could we talk about it during the timeout? But. But it will be so exciting throughout this weekend. 50 years and still flying. We're celebrating with founders, contributors, Hall of Famers, inducting the 2014 through 2018 Hall of Fame classes. And I think we'll talk a lot about Dominique Fontenette. We have already, but she's a current player being inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's phenomenal.
Do not see that very often. I know when Jim Parinello was put in the Hall of Fame, he was still playing, but at a master's level. And Dom is here in club division, so she's got it. She has always got it.
At this beautiful complex, we're at the Surf Cup Sports Park, and we're flanked by these beautiful mountains and a combination of palm trees and a little more like desert trees, I guess.
Thomas Edmonds on the mark for Temper.
So, Brett Grumman has the disc. He'll check it in. Edmonds on the mark. He'll reset.
Good defense from Pittsburgh.
Very quick give and go. And that flick just popped up. Thought maybe he could keep a toe in, but you saw so much very quick, precise movement from Boston. The last throw, though, not so much.
Yeah. Yep, Matt Little just got a little bit too much air underneath it. They've really contained Dylan Best. That's what they said they wanted to do. And DiG has done it well so far.
Edmonds in power position, puts up that blady flick, direct precision for Temper to score. That's another from Matt Hanna.
Yeah, Matt Hanna collecting his goals. Another one of the Pittsburgh collegiate stars that we saw this past spring, and we see it again. Edmonds, another one, of course.
How about that throw from Thomas Edmonds?
Yeah, no hesitation. You know, that last throw he put up was a turn, right? So, and he didn't stop at all. There was no second guessing the deep shot look, and good for him. It was a great throw, great timing, and just a perfect pass.
So while the first half seemed to go by very quickly, the second half has had longer points, a little bit more discussion.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on as to whether the teams are sort of just, you know, feeling more, I don't want to say comfortable, like it was just a little looser to start, and now they're kind of like locking in. You know, maybe DiG just wants to sit on this lead and not get too crazy with it. I don't know. The defense has been stymieing Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh in return has been stymieing DiG. So I think right now we're seeing some pretty good defensive action in this half. They've started to figure each other out.
Yeah, that last point, there were at least 5 turnovers, so that might be another reason why it lasted so long.
Yeah, this O-line has been sitting for quite a while for DiG.
And a very floating backhand. 2 Temper defenders, 1 Boston receiver. Disc will go to Temper.
Design play call there, Sadok to Tanner Johnson. Johnson cannot come up with it. Not something you'll see that often. Pittsburgh was there with 2, and now they bomb it deep.
Answering with another huck. 2-on-1 again. This time, Boston intercepts.
Great D there from Tanner Halkyard. Now DiG is off to the races.
Johnson, one-handed grab.
You can hear the sideline calling out, and Sadok has it too, so this might be an alert that you got a thrower. Or just the mark decision whether it's a flick or a backhand force.
Oh, disc on the far sideline. Took a second for there to be a handler even move back into the reset. Instead, Johnson had to move upfield.
You know, it's kind of interesting. When you start off the point with a play call, design play call, and it doesn't work, and now you're kind of like,
well,
okay.
now what do we do?
Yeah.
Possession will stay with
So,
DiG. Ben Sadok to put it in play.
Ben Sadok has the disc after kind of that little bit of a scuffle with the ground. And straight up the line, Boston with the score. Will go up by 3.
Noah Backer, University of Michigan. I think one of the captains for that team with the score. Easy one for Sadok. Saw the opening there, and from the left side, pretty easy slice and dice for him.
So be sure to join the online conversation by using hashtag USAUNats. You could also use hashtag Born to Rise or hashtag 50 Years of Ultimate. And you can also stay up to date with everything happening USAU with this hashtag USAUNats, or follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube. Most of it is USA Ultimate, so pretty easy to find.
Pretty easy to find. Amy, looking over the men's division, what are you looking at? Kind of like, what are your semis teams? Let's just throw that out there.
Oh gosh.
You got any picks yet?
I don't, because here's why I don't.
Yeah.
Is you know anything can happen. Revolver, always great. I'm a Texas person, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna put double wide in the semis.
Okay,
right?
there you go.
I'm a homer. Sue me. But then, you know, last year you had a team like Sockeye go 0-3, who that was not expected of them. So I need to see a little more.
Okay.
I have revolver and double wide. Beyond that, there's a huck though. Edmonds catches it, immediately dishes, and Temper says, you know, before you start making picks,
yeah,
we've got a point to score here.
There's Earls. Watch this release from Patrick Earls. Really just a thing of beauty. I mean, his range and his motion and his length and his release point is always on point. And Federico there with collecting the goal. Patrick Earls, I played a season in the Mid-Atlantic, and he was on a team called Swagger U, and they're like high school kids or like early college, and I was on a Masters team, and they were just going around just bombing discs down the field and having a blast, and they're all wearing like basketball jerseys. So whenever I think of Patrick Earls, I just think of Swagger U. And, you know, he's got a little swagger. He holds that.
That makes me think of Space Jam, where you see like all the cartoons playing against and kind of their oversized basketball jerseys and things like that.
Yeah. That's what.
Okay, so Tom, who are your picks for the semis? I'm a little non-committal, but.
Who am I picking this? You got to look at the crossovers, right? Like what are the who's going to cross over? I do like this DiG team, so I would say DiG, Ring of Fire, Pony.
Oh right, Pony. Oh, Pony.
Pony's got the pieces.
They do.
And they got the motivation, and they just have a lot of things going for them this year. And you know, if they hold the course, they should be pretty good. Should be a tough out, that's for sure. These guys are going to be a tough out, this DiG team.
And we will have one of those men's semis on our live stream. And just outside, that's enough for Pitt to bat that down.
Just really tight, excellent defense from Pittsburgh.
Justin Abel over to Jasper Tom. A lot of handler movement, such tight defense. Layout from Johnson. And Sadok looked like he might huck it, but he's looking for yards closer to the disc. A laser of a throw, and that is a goal.
Yeah, I think Marquette got that up there. Yeah, Big D, a kind of hulking Tanner Johnson, tracking down in the middle of the field there. Gave his guy some space there, as you were calling out, Emmy, that they were just kind of stuck in a swing position, and it looked like he was open, and then Tanner just gets there first on Marcus Ryan drop show.
Tanner Johnson, born to rise with that layout D.
Cameras wanted Sadok to throw it to Tanner Johnson. They're like, come on, give him the double happiness.
Feed the beast, feed the beast.
Exactly. Instead to Marquette, and watch Marquette laser one on the forehand IO for the goal to Mr. Rocco Linehan.
So DiG is up by 3, and this is their first round. They had a first round bye, and then they face Double Wide, the runner-up, next. But Double Wide has had a really up and down season themselves.
Yeah. So the pool is Double Wide at the 11 seed, right? Boston here as the 7 seed, Pittsburgh as the 14, and Sockeye, who people have a lot of questions about, as the 2 seed. But I believe they're up. I mean, I think they're over there in the red against the white, Double Wide. Is that right?
Yes, that is Double Wide over there.
I think Sockeye might be up in that game. But really, this is definitely a pool to follow if you're a fan of the intricacies of pool play in the men's division this year at Nationals.
So a pick called, Wish with the disc. Have the full 70 for Temper to work it.
Well, hand-to-hand combat here between Jonah Wish and the defender there, number 11, Matt Little.
Edmonds shoots that again, and laying out, just not quite there. I think if Earls had run and not looked at the disc as much, he may have gotten it, but it was just going so fast.
It's tough to read where that was coming in. Definitely came in hot and from an unexpected angle. Nice break, Mark.
So Boston back with the disc. Small passes underneath. Those short continuations.
This could be a real nail.
And a hammer over the top and hanging on to it. DiG calls a timeout.
I can't believe Earls didn't get that one. Willie Stewart instead comes up with it, 2 hands, and they collect it. A really kind of a questionable floaty hammer. He knew right away when he released it, he kind of knew, did Gabe Colton, that a little iffy on that, but great catch out there by Stewart as Earls not quite in the right position, not his fault, just the way that disc came down. Quick timeout there from Willie Stewart. I'm not necessarily a big fan of the timeout call right there in the end zone, especially with no count, you know, but Stewart felt like he wanted it, so. So a chance for DiG with a break here to go up by 4 late. This game isn't over, but DiG should be a superior team to Pittsburgh, and it would be a challenge for Pittsburgh to claw back. They would have to do it on D.
And I mean, we've seen it. It's possible, but it takes a combination of really dialing in your D-line offense, and then kind of sometimes it's a gift from the other team if they're unforced errors. So far, DiG hasn't really shown very many of those.
They're there, but you know, if the chips are down, you just have Ben Sadok bomb it to Tanner Johnson.
Right.
And maybe that doesn't work every time, but it's probably enough times to win this game if it gets to that point. Nice little series of inside cuts there to get that goal.
So, nice dish for DiG to go up by 4 in this second half.
Remember that little swirly S cut isn't going to always get you there, but that did. You know, sometimes I wonder, you know, we talk about, you know, someone who makes an offhand catch, and you see Earls lay out there, and it looks like we're so used to so many right-handers, but that was his offhand.
Wow.
And so I wonder if that had an effect on him not picking that up. You know?
Right, right. That's a very good point.
I just always feel like if you're making a bid on a disc like that, if it's your, I know, it's just it's a challenge. It's a different look on your offhand. If it's a shorter offhand, I don't know. Sometimes you got a little bit more jiu-jitsu there, but on a deeper pass, it can be a challenge. Henry Babcock here, getting ready to pull for Boston Dig. Rusty Ingold Smith told me that he's one of their defensive minds on the team, despite being only a year or two out of college. Not a great pull, however.
The pull is about where the brick mark is, but on the far sideline.
I guess they wanted to,
centers it.
maybe they wanted to pin it on the sideline for to set up the zone.
And going right over the top. I mean, that forced the type of throw that I think Boston was looking for.
Yeah, I don't know, at the last second, maybe he saw Jay Clark there and tried to paint it a little bit more to Dylan Best. And instead, it's to the turf.
And there's a big throw. It's falling fast. And the layout, though, that was going to be a tough catch to make for Babcock.
Yeah, Clark put the distance on there and laid it up kind of nicely, but it came down surprisingly with a little more edge, I think, than he thought. They will set the zone up again, however. Coach Shake told me that they were going to do different looks and you know, to see when they were going to put the looks on. And here's where we're seeing the zone come up.
The over the top working so well for the Pittsburgh offense. Now they're inside of half field. Edmonds on the far side. But DiG is staying in the zone look.
Yeah, it looks like a 1-3. I see this zone often in women's and not so often in men's, where you have the rabbit, the chaser. This is a very effective zone in certain conditions.
My mixed team, I've played on a couple mixed teams that have run this zone too.
Same look there as Clark gets down low on a throw to Best and really makes an effect. That's 2 times that Jay Clark doesn't get the credited for the D perhaps, but he's the man in that spot that is causing that turnover. Rusty Ingold Smith will pick it up.
So, DiG put that backhand, 2 defenders underneath, and Edmonds just comes up a little early to get that block.
Put it up to Tim Schock. Great play, but Edmonds is having a great game. And, you know, really nice elevation and hang time there for him.
Edmonds played with Cuspy, W's Italian team at WCC. And so much outside in angle from that throw as Temper is right on their goal line. Edmonds on the far side puts up a scoober over the top. That is a score for Pittsburgh.
Edmonds is a good player to play for. Bologna has always been a fiery team. Probably fits in pretty well as well. I don't know him that well, but I love that little the sweep scoober where you know, watch him as he releases this. He lets the wind. He puts it up. I guess we're not going to see the scoober get it. Babcock's bid attempt. Oh, it's a D. Wow, that was a great D from Pittsburgh there. There's Clark laying out bid, and there's Edmonds with the hang time. Now watch this sweep scoober here. He just pushes it up, and it floats in nicely.
So that is the 3rd assist in a row for Thomas Edmonds. So you're talking about him having a good game.
Yeah.
He's had 5 assists so far, 3 in a row.
But let's talk about the other side. He threw it to Tyler DiGirolamo. And Tyler DiGirolamo has been one of the guys that we've known for years as an elite player. But you know, you get the sense that he's got a nagging injury.
Right.
We're just not we're not seeing him making a lot of plays out there. And you know, their coach Andrew Willie Nassau told me that he was going to be featured on the D line. You know, to prevent the deep hucks because he's got the body and the range. He's a big guy. But like in the last game I called with Jack Williams, we're not seeing him go deep and make plays downfield for a guy that we know is capable of doing that.
Boston on offense. Seems like most of the regular O-line is on.
Look at this fast movement.
To the near sideline, and looks like a pick called.
Looks like one of your half-field scrimmages you have with your team to warm up. That's how quick they're moving the disc right now.
Halkyard with the disc, looking to get it off the sideline. He will. And really nice movement for Boston to get their 13th score.
Hecht can really do a lot. This is a really an all-around excellence out of Mac Hecht. Cricket here, Marquette with the disc, and it looks like count a little scary on that IO, but no problem for Hecht. And he right away break marked to the end zone. So he knew as soon as he got that disc where he was going to go with it, which was the backhand break mark. There's Tom Matthews right there. One of the head coach of his back towards us now, the head coach of Boston DiG, one of the players from that Death or Glory '99 championship team. Brings a lot of, and he's a really mild-mannered guy. You talk to
right.
Matthews, and it's like hanging out with your uncle or good just an old college friend that you've known for a while. He's a comfortable, easygoing guy.
Who knows a heck of a lot about Ultimate.
Yeah. I think that's Goldstein. I think that's Jesse Goldstein's the other one. So I think this is a lunch order that's being placed right now with the Observer. Can the Observer make that call?
Did you want mayo? I didn't think you liked mayo.
Can the Observer make a lunch call when the crunch time's up?
What would the hand motion be for a lunch call? Like the Ezekiel Elliott beast?
Yeah. Spaghetti bowl.
So DiG in a person defense, but floating the lanes. Temper puts up the huck and sealing it in, but not quite a goal. That's Matt Hanna finds Earls, and then just one more throw to Fedorenko. Pittsburgh did not waste any time to get that point.
Yeah, design play there. Max Thorne to Hanna, just well executed. Thorne has just got all the throws. You kind of think, by now that you'd have someone try to stop Hanna, as we've been calling his name out a lot, but they're not able to stop him. So I don't know who you want to put on Hanna, but maybe they got to look at that. Nonetheless, nice quick hold on a little bit of a downwind point for Pittsburgh Temper.
And I believe that was the 5th goal for Hanna in this game.
He actually didn't catch it on the goal. They ended up throwing it to Fedorenko.
You're right.
Yeah.
So he has 4 goals, and he was one before the hockey assist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I wish we could call that a hockey, because that's the cut, right? Like that's the open cut. So he missed the end zone by a step. Unfortunate. Stat break for Matt Hanna.
So Temper down by 3. DiG within 2 of winning, but Temper showing that they can answer back and using plays that work well.
The question for Temper is going to be, if they lose this game, what do they need to do different against what's going to be just a strong competition in double wide and sockeye? Where do they find, one of the things that I think they need is another handler back there. I wonder what they're going to look towards in future games.
So we see some switches from Temper to kind of prevent that deep look.
Yeah, that was good defense from Temper there to stop both Thompson and Johnson.
So they find a poached receiver with that hammer. Instead, Boston working it underneath.
just taking their time is DiG here, you know, and they have to because Pittsburgh's playing great defense.
Marquette with the disc on the near sideline. Does a really close reset to Sadok.
Yeah, DiG does not know where to go right now. This is definitely a win right now for Pittsburgh Temper. And Sadok getting lucky on a little contact here from Tom. Josh Baton.
Come in on one. Sadok to put it in play.
And the count is at 8. So that scoober was on stall 9 and completed.
Yeah, just great switching there. You saw DiGirolamo go back on Marquette. So Marquette had faked out his man. But it looks like this is going to, okay, yeah, disc will stay here with Noah Backer.
So now DiG outside of their end zone, looking for this red zone offense. And that around backhand is good for DiG to come in within 1 of winning the game.
DiGirolamo just shut down Marquette. And you know, what are you going to do there? They just keep working it and eventually get a score to Sadok. And it's
really,
I don't know,
that
it's hard.
stayed alive because of a stall 9
Yeah,
scoober
that's true.
that worked.
Yep.
When really, to your point, the Pittsburgh defense was just locked down.
It just one of those things that happens in all sports where you win the point. You see it in soccer a lot, right? Where you feel like one team's just dominating and then they get a lucky score, the other team.
Right.
It's like,
As a defender, that's always so frustrating because you know you've done such a good job and you're like, well, that's what we're trying to force, right? Something that's a little more difficult on stall 9.
And in the beginning of the game, you walk off the field and you're pretty psyched. You're like, we just forced a great series of plays here. But when you're down 13-10, as it was before that, you have to get that D. And it's just so frustrating when you don't get it. And it's not your fault. You did it great, and it was just a bailout scoober that we saw. So it's frustrating to be in that position. But you got to get the D, because otherwise you're going to get choked out of this game. So do we know where they go next? Who gets Sockeye and who gets? Let's take a look.
So
double wide.
DiG, I believe, gets double wide next. So that would mean Temper gets Sockeye.
Okay. So stay tuned, everyone. This is, again, like a fun pool to pay attention to.
Wish, nice high point catch. Inside, Thornton launches. It will, I think that was a valiant greatest attempt.
That was
best.
Absolutely the only attempt you could do, which is to jump and try to knock it back in. Yeah. I will say the greatest has always been, the only reason that play is allowable in Ultimate is because when someone first did that play, it looked so cool. They're like, that looks cool. Let's just keep it. I mean, it makes no sense rules-wise that should be legal.
Right.
But it's part of our
But it's the
rule
greatest.
set. Yeah, but it's just fun to watch.
So now DiG just really on that far sideline, but puts up the huck. Will it stay in bounds? Doesn't matter.
And Ben Field there with the rip. And pretty good rip, but I guess a little too much.
And I think Bartoli was kind of looking for the line. I don't know that he would have been in anyway, even if he had caught it.
Yeah, you get that scaffolding coming up kind of quick, too.
Also that. So, Temper back on offense. Wastes no time looking for Best, but Best would have had to probably make about a shoulder-high layout to get that. And even then.
Frustrating day for Dylan game so far. I mean, it's not that he's played poorly, but like that's at least the third throw to him that was like, he had those two, the Jay Clark was underneath him, they had no chance at. Now he's got one that's too far. It's like, and he's getting shut down on his handling. Very frustrating.
really nice over the top. Goes over to Clark. And Clark, another put. Same thing. And the defense, so much pressure.
Matt Hanna there, having a great game.
But Hanna kind of knows this who he's guarding. This is what Boston's been trying to do. Blade straight to Edmonds. He looks downfield. He says, wait, where is everybody?
Where are you guys?
Max Thorne with that every other.
Wow.
Wish with all of the footwork, agility ladder drills, hoping to pay off.
Yeah, but Zepka, Ryan Zepka there, that shut him down. Timeout call, Max Thorne.
An important point for Pittsburgh. I mean, they need to score to stay alive in this game.
First timeout of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't score, it's game over. That'd be pretty big. But you know, you want to build up your chemistry, and it's unfortunate that this point has been dragging out so long. But you know, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm like, let's get this score, you know, let's move it in and give our defense a chance. And it seems so simple and obvious, but it's not as easy to execute, of course. Love the looseness from Boston here.
It's like some kind of Irish
jig?
Seems like Irish jig, yeah.
With a lot of hugging.
That's what we love about this sport, right?
I used to love the Slow White. Another Boston team would always have like giant Rosham circles during. And they'd bring in, they'd run over to the players on the other team and be like, get in here, we're doing a Rosham. And it's like one of those group Roshams where everyone's got to put two hands out. And
it's so chaotic, but so fun.
Yeah, they're moving like miles a minute. And meanwhile, there's like supposedly a game happening, but the Rosham seems more entertaining.
There is a game, the Rosham game.
The game within the game.
So Wish with the disc, looking to isolate on that forced side. Out of the vertical stack. And just couldn't find the right shot.
Well, there's Zepka there. Again, shutting down his man, Jonah Wish, on the dump and gets the reward with the turnover as the Temper player looks upfield. Jake Clark will try it again.
Another huck. This time it completes for the winning score for Boston DiG. They'll take it ahead of Temper, 15-10.
Well, Jake Clark on the third try at this point, I believe. The first two, he lofted in the air a little bit. This time he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to put a little more muscle and a little less air under it.
So I'm getting a little bit lower using the base. Make that work. So what do you expect to see? What's the shakedown that you see from this pool going into the rest of the tournament?
Well, you know, we got to find out what's going on with double wide sockeye. You know, this DiG team should match up well with both those teams, but who knows? They really haven't seen each other a lot this season, if at all. I don't think DiG has played either one of those teams, so there's a lot of question marks. And last year they didn't either. So I don't know. It's just an interesting pool. There's the foot block from Ingold Smith. We're watching some of the highlights here.
So very exciting play as Boston DiG beats Pittsburgh Temper 15-10. For Tony Leonardo, I'm Emmy Fitzgerald. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.